Thank you for joining us today for Cape Chronicle. I'm Audra Kane. We will be discussing business, community, and education today. If you have an interest in small business or are looking for assistance in starting one, we will fill you in on how the Economic and Business Engagement Center can help. Director Crystal Jones will be up first. Then, the United Way of Southeast Missouri's Executive Director Elizabeth Shelton is here to go over programs and more. Plus, we'll get a chance to learn more about Central Academy with Director Scott McMullen. Stay with us for this edition of Cape Chronicle.
Whether it's for business or just a getaway, Cape Air is your wings in the Midwest. Cape Air serves 6 destinations, including Kirksville, Quincy, Fort Leonard Wood, Cape Girardeau, Marion, and Owensboro. Fly from Cape Girardeau to St. Louis with fares starting at just $49 each way. With easy connections through Lambert St. Louis International Airport, Cape Air connects you to the Midwest and the world. Book today at capeair.com or call 800-CAPE-AIR and enjoy the ride.
We don't see problems. We see opportunities for creative solutions. At Southeast Missouri State, we don't think outside the box, we got rid of the box. We embrace innovation and turn ideas into successful businesses by learning from those who've been there before. We even offer a safe space to try out ideas before launching. Who else can say that? Entrepreneurship is everywhere. Let's make your ideas happen.
Welcome to Cape Chronicle. I'm Audra Kane. Southeast Missouri State University affords our community a great many advantages, and one of those is the Economic and Business Engagement Center. Director Crystal Jones is here to explain the many benefits of the center, particularly the local and small business owners that benefit. Welcome, Crystal. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Well, now when I say hang on, I gotta look at my notes, Economic and Business Engagement Center, it hasn't always been called that, but it's changing. We're in the process of changing it, right?
Yes. So formerly we were known as the Institute for Regional Innovation and Entrepreneurship, located at 920 Broadway. And recently we learned that we should focus on changing the name of our center so that the community knows that we are there to assist them with any economic development need. And that could encompass workforce development, community development, small business development, and also our entrepreneurship training programs. So that is the reason for the name change.
Give a little bit more identifier to the community.
Yes.
So you mentioned workforce development.
Yes.
How does the center do that with local businesses?
So we're in the process of merging actually the university's Department of Continuing Education into the Economic and Business Engagement Center. The Department of Continuing Education has always had non-credit professional and personal enrichment courses. And in the future, that continuing education department under the new Economic and Business Engagement Center will focus more on assessing business and industry needs and determining what gaps the university can fill to support that workforce training and development, working in collaboration with our other institutes of higher education in the region.
I just heard someone talking about this on the radio this morning about how important it is for us to invest in our own workforces, and so it's great to know that the Economic and Business Engagement Center is really going to help local businesses kind of get that ball rolling, because we've heard so much about how businesses are leaving, companies are leaving America. Well, this is a great way to start at the local level. So what are some of the other training, maybe like short-term training issues that the center can address for local businesses?
So we have a number of different training courses. We're adding to those on a continual basis. You know, once we get out and begin assessing what the industry needs, we'll look at the university's resources and see what gaps we can fill. Like I said, working in collaboration with with other institutes of higher education. But other trainings that we offer to small businesses in particular is we do things like QuickBooks training to try to help them with their financial analysis. We have a 6-week entrepreneurship training course called Launch You. We're actually getting ready to kick off another 6-week course at the end of January in Sikeston, Missouri, and looking at adding a Cape Jackson course in the spring. And what this course does is it gives small businesses the tools and resources they need to assess the feasibility of their business concept. So if you are an entrepreneur and you're looking to start a small business and you just don't know where to begin, or if you're currently in business and you're looking to expand your business or look at other growth opportunities, this is a class that you definitely want to take a look at. It just gives you those tools and resources that you need to get your business feasibility plan developed.
Well, and I'm familiar with this program because it used to be called Jumpstart.
Operation
right?
Jumpstart.
Operation Jumpstart.
Yes. This program was initially a Kauffman Foundation First Step program. We had an agreement with the Kauffman Foundation to offer this program throughout the region and actually on a national scale. And in the last year, the Kauffman Foundation, they're going a little bit of a different direction with some of their programming. So they offered this program to us to continue to offer to entrepreneurs. And so it went through a rebranding, and now we have that program renamed and rebranded as Launch You.
And through Launch You, not only can they figure out how to start their business, but it also can tell you if you probably shouldn't start a certain type of business, right?
Absolutely. It helps those entrepreneurs establish that go or no-go decision. You know, and that's an added benefit of the program is some entrepreneurs will go through the program and realize, hey, this wasn't a feasible business idea, which is great because that saves the entrepreneur time and resources, financial and otherwise, that they might have invested in the business when it wasn't really a feasible idea.
Well, and so many times driving through town, you see businesses open and close, open and close, and the center is a great way to keep that from happening, to find businesses that are feasible. And then can you also help them identify a location that's good for their business?
Well, what we can do is we have a small business and technology development center at the Economic and Business Engagement Center. And this is a statewide resource. The acronym is SBTDCs. And that SBTDC office can work one-on-one with small businesses to help them provide a variety of consulting services, whether it's financial statement planning and analysis, marketing plans. They can help with their social media planning and just different aspects of a small business that sometimes entrepreneurs need help with. So once a business is established, or if someone is looking to start a business, that's another resource that we have, is that one-on-one consultation with our SBTDC.
Well, and a big thing for getting a loan to start up a business has to do with having a business plan. And part of Launch You and then the services that you all offer, like you said, help them figure out what that business plan needs to be.
Yes.
And then find the financing for it, right?
Exactly. One of the huge services that SBTDC can offer along with our Launch You program is the entrepreneurs come out with a business plan. And this business plan is actually vetted through the SBA, so it's an SBA approved plan. You can take this plan to your bank and it is essentially investment ready. And another program and service that we offer is a revolving loan program that can help provide entrepreneurs and small businesses with some gap financing that they may potentially need to start their business. If they go to the bank and the bank is offering to loan them a certain amount of money and there is a gap there, you know, contact us. That is something that we like to look at as well.
And it's hard for someone to know exactly how big that gap is until they sit down with you all and really go through, figure out that business plan, find out what they need to do to establish not only their ability to get that loan, but to actually physically start the business. So they can contact you. We've got your website up on our information on the screen, but also they can just stop by and get more information at the center, correct?
Sure. Like I said, we're located at 920 Broadway here in Cape Girardeau. So stop by anytime, and our SBTDC office is there, as well as our other staff members who could help them get on their way.
All right, well, thank you so much, Crystal Jones. It's
Thanks
been
for
great
having me.
having you here. We've been talking with Crystal Jones, the director of the Economic and Business Engagement Center. On the way next is Elizabeth Shelton of the United Way of Southeast Missouri. Stay tuned for more of Cape Chronicle.
You can sing in the shower and doodle in the margins of a notebook for the rest of your life, or you can push your creativity to center stage and develop the skills to back it up. At Southeast Missouri State University, you can surround yourself with minds that are as creative and weird and beautiful as yours, at a campus dedicated exclusively to the arts, with classmates who share your passion, and faculty who know the industry. You've got talent. Let's see what you got.
I just walked by and I said, "What's happening, guys?" And they told me they were making music.
It's the way you walk, it's the way you talk. I like this music.
They said I could play, so any chance to play at all. You know, that's my life. I love music.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
A healthy smile is a powerful thing. It deserves Delta Dental, the nation's leading dental benefits provider. We make it easy to protect your smile and keep it healthy.
Welcome back to Cape Chronicle. The United Way of Southeast Missouri offers programs and assistance to a group of organizations in our area in order to assist the community in strengthening those who are identified in the greatest need. Executive Director Elizabeth Shelton has come in to talk over what their organization can offer. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Hello, thank you.
I'm so glad that you're here because I know you've been on the job as Executive Director for a little over a year, right?
15 months.
And we have discussed this before about learning about your job because it encompasses a great deal of information, a lot of organizations, and I know that you've learned some things you may not have known in this last 15 months, maybe done a little myth busting.
Yes, I have. I've been myth busting as well as learning a lot about our community and a lot about the need there that a lot of people in the community are not aware of.
I think that's the biggest thing, is that you're just unaware. Unless you're involved really at the deep grassroots level, you may not know what is going on as far as people in the community and what their need is. And so that's where the United Way steps in, correct?
Correct. We started out as a community chest in that we just took in funds and we distributed funds wherever there was need. But about 10 years ago, United Ways across the country began shifting to becoming more of an organization that creates change and impact with those funds instead of just dispersing them to people in need, although we still do that.
Okay, and so as far as the funds go, most of that money comes from
workplace employees. Right here in Southeast Missouri is where we get our funding. And that's one myth that I've been busting, is a lot of people don't realize that money that is raised local stays local. We're very proud of the fact that 99 cents or more of every dollar donated by individuals stays right here in the community, invested back into programs and agencies that help strengthen our community.
So some of those types of agencies, I'm excited to hear you talking about the fact that the money stays here. The local organizations that the United Way partners with the community in, what kind of organizations do those consist of?
We invest in organizations that focus on education, income, and health. which is a United Way worldwide focus. And these include, for our local United Way, about 34 programs distributed through 28 different agencies and services, and that includes public schools, just about any nonprofit that wants to apply for funding can, but they have to go through a very rigorous process and application that is admittedly very hairy. And we also have people from the community in various groups at different times throughout this whole process reviewing the applications, the promised outcomes, the budgets of these organizations, so that we can honestly tell all of our donors and investors that their money is going exactly where they want it to be going.
I went on a media tour a few years ago, and the United Way took us around to visit some of those local organizations, one of them being the SEMO Food Bank, I think, at the time. But I think a lot of us in the media were surprised at the vetting process and the fact that you all, and that's something you've been working on, is really looking at those financial records of the organizations and making sure that the money is going where they say it's going to go, right?
Yes, we pride ourselves on being transparent and being able to assure our investors that we are good stewards of their investment. And one of the ways that we do that is by putting these organizations that are very worthwhile in their own way, but we put them through our additional vetting process and we hold them to the outcomes that they hope to achieve. Now, that's not to say that if someone doesn't make the progress they hope to with a particular program or service that we no longer fund them. We just make sure that we have measurements in place going forward before we even invest in them, so that we can know that our dollars are making a difference, or at least moving the needle in the right direction.
I think a lot of people will like hearing that you don't necessarily shut them down, but work with them to help them really serve the community in a great way. We've got a couple more minutes. I know that there's a group called First Call for Help.
Yes.
And how does that work?
That is a local agency that helps people in an emergency situation. Someone who frequently, for the most part, it's hard-working people who are working one, if not two or more jobs, who have had some setback, some major setback that has caused them to not be able to pay their rent that month or their utility bill that month or something along those lines. Right now, First Call for Help is getting calls from families who need help with Christmas gifts for their children. And so that agency can direct people to other resources within Southeast Missouri. And there's another one that operates outside of Southeast Missouri called 211. And people just dial 211 and they are directed to resources as well.
They can always go to unitedway.org to find out more information.
United Way of SEMO.
UnitedWayofSEMO.org. Yes. Okay, to find out more information, including First Call for Help and then anything you have going on in the future. Elizabeth Shelton, it's so nice to see you again.
It's nice to be here.
Thank you for coming in and busting some myths for us.
Thanks for the opportunity.
You bet. Thanks again to Elizabeth Shelton, the Executive Director of the United Way of Southeast Missouri. On the way, we will have first-time guest Central Academy Director Scott McMullen. That's next on Cape Chronicle. Good job.
Thank you. Thanks for all that.
There's more to history than books. At Southeast Missouri State, we're getting our hands dirty and preserving history. Our classrooms are museums, homes, and historic sites. Because the past can teach us so much more when it can be touched. We're preparing for the future. Because to know where you're going, you must know where you've been.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
At Southeast Missouri State, We know agriculture can mean so much more than working on the farm. It means research and lab work that lead to profitability and sustainability. It means creating new jobs, jobs that other people haven't even thought of yet. It means the spirit of entrepreneurship and the desire to make your own way. You want to do something groundbreaking beyond plowing fields. So let's get started.
This is Cape Chronicle, and I'm Audra Kane. From kindergarten through 12th grade, the Cape Girardeau Public School District strives for excellence in educating and caring for the children in our schools. But there is one campus in the district that is striving to create something unique and meaningful for the students they serve. Central Academy Director Scott McMullen is here to explain. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I'm so glad to have you here because I've known a lot about Central Academy for a while now, but I think that a lot of people in our community don't realize what Central Academy is. You've been with them for...
This is my 6th year.
So very exciting because you've made some changes along the way, and one of those has been changing the name of Central Academy. It used to be called...
The Cape Alternative Education Center.
And Alternative Education Center doesn't always translate well for kids when they're looking for a job after high school, right?
Yes, that was one of the things that kind of triggered us wanting to change the name. Many of our students commented that whenever they went to fill out job applications or if they had interviews, once it was found out that they were attending Central Academy or the alternative school formerly, that they were unfairly judged, unfairly treated, and so we thought that changing the name would help erase some of the negative stigma that comes along with being part of an alt school.
Academy has a better ring to it. It sounds a little military, but it also has a little bit more of an elite sound to it. And for some of the students, a lot of people will think, when they hear this, they'll say alternative campus means disciplinary problem, but that's not necessarily true.
It isn't. The students that are referred to our school, they're there for a variety of different reasons. Some attendance problems, some academic, and many just have a tough time fitting into a large school climate. Many of them comment that they're anxious being in a building with 1,200 students, and they would much rather be in a building with 120 or 130 students.
Well, and occasionally, and I know this from meeting kids and having subbed in the Cape Girardeau School District, is not a corporate school, sitting in a classroom, sitting still in a chair isn't for every kid out there. And so what do you all offer that for those students that just aren't comfortable in the bigger campuses? What do you offer to them that's different?
The biggest thing is my staff does an excellent job of creating positive relationships with the students. When you have a class of 12 to 15 students, you have them 90 minutes for a block period, you get a chance to really get to know them, get to work with them, establish positive relationships, and as a result, those students respond more favorably. They feel more comfortable.
And encouraging them to work on their own pace?
Yes.
And rather than feeling that pressure of, deadlines and all of that, does it give them a sense of importance to be able to choose how quickly or how slowly that they work on something?
It does. It does give them a lot of autonomy. They know that they have 90 minutes to work on their homework assignments. They know that many of them have to work full-time to either help out at home or they're responsible for taking care of younger siblings. So the fact that they have 90 minutes to work on a subject area and can do credit recovery after school if they get behind, that they could focus on just survival, which is key to most of our students.
A lot of them, surviving is the most important thing for them. What have you seen as far as growth in the program? What have you seen develop over the last, or what have you pushed to develop over the last 5 years?
We've been very proactive. When I first started, we just had a full-time program, and it was just from 7:30 to 2:30. Now, because of the needs of some of our students that are single parents or some students that move into our district from another district and can't earn credits, we have a half-day program set up in the morning and also in the afternoon. This year, we also have a Missouri Options program that students that are behind more than a year from their cohort graduation year, they're able to take the HiSET exam and also do work study or work full-time or even take a career pathway at the Career and Technology Center. And if they complete the program within a year, then they are, and pass the HiSET successfully, they're able to get their high school diploma.
That's awesome. So they do get a chance to work at the Career and Technology Center.
Yes.
Wow, that's fantastic. And then they also, some of them are afforded the ability to participate in sports, right?
Yes, we do. We have currently 3 students that are on the basketball team. This year we had 2 students that were on the football team. So we're basically an extended campus of the high school. If our students meet the academic and behavioral criteria, they're able to participate in sports and other extracurricular activities.
And that's a great motivator for some of the kids, right?
It truly is. They feel a part of the school district, they feel valued, and they're able to continue relationships with students that they've grown up with.
A lot of them have played sports together their whole lives, so you know, letting them participate in that and keep going, because you and I both know those basketball kids, they are a unit a lot of the time.
Yes, they are, and it's motivation to keep them in school because those are some of the few things that they have to look forward to.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we could talk forever. What do you think, there are so many things, great things going on there. What do you think that you would like for people in our community, the most important thing you'd like for them to know about Central Academy?
When you think of Central Academy or you think of an alternative school, you think that it's chaotic, a lot of conflict, but the uniqueness of our building is we have students from so many different backgrounds that they really appreciate each other because they know that they are also different and that they're having to overcome a lot of obstacles in their own personal lives. So they get along really well, and it's just a really positive school culture, and they really enjoy that.
I know that you've brought in some programs outside, lecturers. I was there once when there was a drum circle and someone was teaching them about rhythm and how music affects their culture. Do you continue to do those kinds of things?
We do. We try to bring in as many community members as possible. I know we partnership with ABC Today, and so we have people from the business sector and other organizations in the community that help, provide services for our students, whether it's helping participate at some of our celebrations for student achievement, whether it's volunteering, to donate things for our ice cream social. So just involving community members and letting the students know that there are other people in the community that care about them besides their families.
Well, your staff and you, I know, care about those kids a great deal. Thank you so much for all that you do for them.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure, so thank you.
Thanks for coming in. We've been talking with Central Academy Director Scott McMullen, and thanks to all our guests, and thanks to you for joining us today for Cape Chronicle. The program is a collaboration between the Department of Mass Media at Southeast Missouri State University, the City of Cape Girardeau, and River Radio Group. Our executive producer is Dr. Jim Dufek. I'm Audra Kane. Thanks for watching.